A bold move by the UK has sparked a diplomatic storm in the Middle East. The British government's recognition of Palestinian statehood has sent shockwaves through the region, with Israel threatening retaliation. Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper has warned Israel against any aggressive actions. But will her words be heeded? In a dramatic policy shift, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer announced the UK's recognition of a Palestinian state, joining Canada, Australia, and Portugal in this decision. This move has not been taken lightly, as it carries significant implications for the region's fragile peace process. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has condemned the UK's decision, calling it a huge reward to terrorism. He believes that recognizing Palestinian statehood will only embolden extremist groups like Hamas. But here's where it gets controversial. Netanyahu and his supporters argue that the UK's recognition could be seen as a pretext for Israel to annex parts of the West Bank. When asked about this potential retaliation, Cooper made it clear that such an action would not be tolerated. This decision is about respecting the security of both Israel and the Palestinians, Cooper emphasized. It's about protecting peace, justice, and security for the entire Middle East. We must work together to achieve this. Cooper further highlighted the threat posed by extremists on both sides who seek to undermine the two-state solution. She believes the UK has a moral obligation to revive this solution, despite the challenges. Walking away is not an option when we've witnessed such devastation and suffering, she said. Recognizing Israel's right to exist must go hand in hand with recognizing the Palestinians' right to their own state. The UK's Consulate General in East Jerusalem is expected to become a full embassy, but the timing is uncertain as diplomatic processes with the Palestinian Authority are ongoing. In New York, where the UN General Assembly is taking place this week, Cooper aims to build an international consensus for a framework of peace in the Middle East. France and Saudi Arabia will co-chair a meeting addressing the path to a two-state solution, with Belgium also expected to follow suit. Sir Keir's statement emphasized his desire to revive the hope of peace and a two-state solution. However, Netanyahu remains adamant that Palestinian statehood will not happen. The Israeli government spokesperson, David Mencer, accused the UK's Labour Party of betrayal, saying, "The Jewish community will never forgive this." The US has described the UK's move as a diplomatic gift to Hamas, especially after Hamas's attack on Israel in October 2023, which resulted in the deaths of 1,200 people and the taking of 251 hostages. Sir Keir and the Foreign Office have stressed that Hamas will have no role in the future Palestinian state, and that the recognition is a pledge to both the Palestinian and Israeli people for a better future. The starvation and devastation in Gaza are intolerable, Sir Keir added. The UK's Middle East Minister, Hamish Falconer, believes the time is now to push for a two-state solution, as the threat to peace has never been greater. He emphasized that Hamas would not be the victors and that any Palestinian state would be demilitarized. Hamas, while welcoming the recognition, has called for practical measures to end the war immediately. The Israeli Foreign Ministry, on the other hand, has dismissed the UN's genocide report as based on Hamas lies and poor research, calling it an embarrassment to the legal profession. Netanyahu continues to deny starvation in Gaza, blaming aid agencies and Hamas for any hunger in the region. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas has welcomed the UK's decision, believing it will pave the way for a peaceful coexistence between Palestine and Israel. The two-state solution refers to the creation of a Palestinian state in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, with East Jerusalem as its capital, mirroring the pre-1967 Arab-Israeli war boundaries. Due to Israel's military occupation in the West Bank and its sole rule in Gaza, the Palestinian Authority is not in full control of its land or people. UK ministers have cited the continued expansion of illegal Israeli settlements as a key factor in their decision to recognize Palestinian statehood. Mohammed Jarrar, the mayor of Jenin in the West Bank, believes the Israeli government aims to annex the West Bank, But he also sees recognition as important, as it confirms the Palestinian people's right to their state, even under occupation. Netanyahu has reiterated his intentions, stating, "We will continue to double Jewish settlements in Judea and Samaria." Far-right Israeli Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has called for the annexation of the West Bank and the dismantling of the Palestinian Authority in response to the UK's recognition. The situation remains tense, and the UK's warning to Israel not to retaliate against Palestinian statehood is a critical aspect of this complex diplomatic landscape. Will Israel heed the warning, or will the region descend further into conflict? The world watches with bated breath.